Once upon a time in France, there was a king who had everything: gold, palaces, cake. Okay, maybe not the cake part. That was his wife's thing. His name was Louis XVI. People called him Your Majesty. He had a big wig, a big castle, and a big problem. He didn't really know how to be king. Louis wasn't evil, just kinda awkward. He liked locks. Seriously, he collected locks and keys. While the people outside his palace were starving, he was inside, tinkering with metal and wondering how things worked. Now, France, in the late 1700s, wasn't exactly a peaceful place. The poor were tired of being poor. They were angry, and angry people don't stay quiet for long. Then came the French Revolution, and boom. Just like that, the people rose up. They stormed the Bastille, tore down royal symbols, and basically told Louis, "Hey, we're done with kings, thanks." Louis and his queen, Marie Antoinette, tried to escape once, in a carriage, dressed in costumes, at night. Let's just say it didn't work. They got caught. The people were not impressed. So now, the king was no longer a king, just citizen Louis Capet, sitting in a cold stone cell in the temple prison, waiting for what comes next. The crown was gone. The crowd was louder than ever. And Louis, he was quiet, maybe thinking about his keys, or maybe about his family, or maybe, just maybe, he knew the end was near. It was January 20th, 1793. Cold, quiet, and not in a cozy, wintry way. More like something really bad is about to happen, kind of quiet. Louis XVI, once the King of France, had just been told his fate: death by guillotine. First thing tomorrow morning. No appeals, no takebacks. And you know what Louis said? Nothing dramatic, no screaming. He just nodded, calmly, like someone who got the worst Yelp review of his life and still left a tip. He went back to his prison room, just stone walls, one bed, one candle, and sat there thinking, probably not about politics, probably about his wife, children, or maybe that one time he got stuck trying to escape dressed like a servant. Yeah, awkward. Later that evening, a priest named Abbé Edgeworth came to visit him. Not a party priest, a serious one. He came to help Louis prepare for, well, the big moment. They talked, they prayed, they even shared a quiet meal, soup, wine, nothing fancy. I mean, he used to have royal feasts. But tonight, just a last supper in a prison cell. Then Louis did something touching. He wrote letters, goodbye notes to his wife, Marie Antoinette, and his kids. Simple words, sad ones. He told them he loved them, told them to stay strong, told them not to hate the people who did this. And when he finished writing, he didn't cry. He just folded the paper, handed it to the priest, and sat in silence. The night was cold and quiet. Inside his little stone cell, Louis XVI sat alone, just a candle flickering beside him. This was it, his last night on earth. It wasn't dramatic, no thunder, no cries of sorrow, just stillness. He didn't sleep. Who would, knowing the morning holds a guillotine with your name on it? Instead, Louis spent the night doing small, quiet things. He prayed with the priest, Abbé Edgeworth. He read from his prayer book. He even tried to rest. But let's be honest, his bed was basically a stiff wooden board, and death isn't exactly a lullaby. At one point, the guards offered to stay nearby. Louis said, "No need, gentlemen. I'm not going to run." Which was, well, kind of darkly funny. He asked for a clock to know the hour. Tick, tick, tick. Time moved slowly, the kind of slow where seconds feel like hours and hours feel like forever. He thought about his family, his little son, the Dauphin, now locked away, his queen, Marie Antoinette, sitting in a different prison cell, just as broken as he was. No letters this time, just quiet. No last-minute escape plans, no royal guards charging in. Only the sound of wind outside and the footsteps of soldiers preparing the scaffold. And yet, Louis stayed calm. No fear, no begging. Just a man, once a king, sitting with his thoughts. Voiceover. Morning came, not with sunshine and birds, but with footsteps, cold air, and the sound of boots echoing down the prison hall. It was January 21st, 1793, the day France would lose its king. Louis XVI woke early. He was already dressed in white, simple clothes, nothing royal, just a coat, waistcoat, and black boots. No crown, no jewels, just a quiet man, ready to walk into history. His confessor, Abbé Edgeworth, was with him. They shared a short prayer, the kind of prayer that says, "I'm not afraid, but please, don't let it hurt." Guards came to get him. Louis didn't fight, didn't argue. He simply nodded. He even thanked them for their kindness. Yes, manners, even on death day. He stepped into a carriage. It rolled slowly through the streets of Paris. Tens of thousands of people were waiting, but no one cheered. No one laughed. It was silent, so quiet you could hear the horses breathing. Finally, they arrived at the Place de la Révolution. There it was, the guillotine, standing tall, cold, ready. Louis climbed the steps. He looked out at the crowd. Then he said, "I die innocent of all the crimes imputed to me. I forgive those who have caused my death. I pray that God does not punish my country." Powerful words for a man with just seconds left. The executioner tried to tie his hands. Louis refused at first, then calmly gave in. He lay down, no screaming, no begging, just silence. And just like that, it was over. The blade fell. The crowd gasped, just for a second. Some people cried, some clapped. Most just stood there, not sure what to feel. Louis XVI, the King of France, was gone. No parade, no funeral, no golden tomb. They buried him in an unmarked grave, in a churchyard covered with snow and silence. Back at the prison, his confessor whispered a final prayer. The guards stood still. Even they looked shaken. It wasn't just a man who died. It was a symbol, a world, a way of life. Far away, Marie Antoinette didn't know yet. His children never got to say goodbye. History moved on, but slowly, as if taking a deep breath. France was changing. The revolution rolled forward like a storm. More trials, more deaths, more noise. But that night, that very night, Paris felt strangely quiet, as if the city was unsure. Had they done the right thing? Was justice served? Or was this just another tragedy? There were no more royal dinners, no ballrooms, no fireworks over Versailles. Only memories, locked away in dusty letters and old paintings. And Louis, well, some people say he died a coward. Others say he died with dignity. But one thing is true. He faced the end not as a king, not as a ruler, but as a man.